Welcome to TRT World. I'm Nadia Muftic, and in this week's Across the Balkans, we bring you the latest stories from the region and how countries, governments and the people are affected. Political uncertainty continues in Bulgaria when voters went to the polls in yet another snap election. Results suggest a major political shift, with former President Rumen Radev winning more than 40% of the vote for his Progressive Bulgaria coalition. However, concerns over corruption and the integrity of the electoral process are once again under scrutiny. Ozlem reports.
April 19th marked Bulgaria's 8th election in just 5 years, highlighting the nation's deep political instability and repeated failures to form lasting governments. This election comes after massive protest in December last year, when thousands of people, many of them young, marched through Sofia, forcing the government to step down. Former President Rumen Radev vacated his position earlier this year after nearly a decade in office to enter the race for the prime ministerial role. Positioning himself as an anti-establishment figure, he endorsed the December protest. In the days leading up to the election, an animal protection organization launched the initiative Vote for the Animals, with more than 4,000 posters displaying its dissatisfaction with the parliamentary candidates. Their speechless posters aimed to draw attention to animal rights issues and encourage a higher voter turnout, hoping for a shift in government. Official results show Radev and his Progressive Bulgaria coalition have won Sundays with more than 40% of the vote, well ahead of their rivals. In his initial remarks after the results, Radev said his work was just beginning.
Недоверието в българската политика все още е голямо и не предстои много работа. Това е само първата стъпка за възстановяването на това доверие и на обществения договор. Прогресивна България печели безапелационно. Това е победа на надеждата над недоверието, това е победа на свободата над страха. И най-сетне, това е победа, ако щете, и на морала. Защото хората отхвърлиха самодоволството и високомерието на старите партии и не се поддадоха на лъжите и манипулациите. Така че благодаря още веднъж за доверието.
Despite the strong results, analysts say coalition negotiations may still be needed in a fragmented parliament, potentially delaying the formation of a new government. The latest election reflects a growing divide between pro-European reformists and pro-Russian factions, with the war in Ukraine continuing to shape political debate in the country. The vote has also been overshadowed by concerns regarding the integrity of the electoral process. At a press conference after the elections, Emil Dachev, Bulgaria's caretaker Minister of Interior, reported that election violations continue on election day itself.
Сигналите във връзка с престъпления, изборни престъпления в полза на определена партия или политическа коалиция са следните: 631 сигнала за изборни престъпления в полза на ДПС ново начало, 318 сигнала за изборни престъпления в полза на ГЕРБ, 18 сигнала за Възраждане, 16 сигнала за изборни престъпления в полза на Прогресивна България.
Days before the elections, in separate operations, authorities seized around 1 million euros, believed to be intended to buy votes. Public opinion after results appear to be divided.
I'm very anxious, let's say, because if he's so pro-Russian as it might be, this might be very problematic.
Yet, other citizens welcomed his victory.
I believe in him. I see that he's
like he will do, not only talk.
Ами, честно казано, не знам дали да вярвам, че ще има по-скоро различна промяна, нали, в поведението на политическата класа в България, или е последната заблуда. Честно казано, смятам, че доста хора са по същия начин объркани, но пък надявам се, че е за добро, нали, защото в крайна сметка беше крайно време да имаме някаква промяна.
As results point a political shift, questions remain not only about who will govern, but whether the system itself can deliver credible and stable leadership after all, as revealed across the Balkans.
For more on the Bulgarian elections, I'm joined by Associate Professor Dr. Kader Ozlem from Bursa Uludağ University. Professor, welcome to Across the Balkans. It's a pleasure to have you here with us.
Hello, thank you very much. It's a pleasure for me to be here.
Thank you. So, Professor, in light of Rumen Radev's victory, can you explain how we have a president who stepped down and enters the electoral race just 4 months ago, sweeping to victory?
The answer of this question can be found in the political instability in Bulgaria that has experienced over the last 5 years. But from an individual perspective, first of all, Rumen Radev was not a stranger to Bulgarian people, and international society have known him very well because of presidency. He was a general in Bulgarian army before presidency, as you know. For this reason, he successfully used his different identities during his election campaign. He also managed this process by taking over an already existing small party instead of founding a new party. In fact, the road to victory of Radev was quite mechanical, as if all the conditions had been prepared for him. He made necessary and compulsory choice because his term would end at the end of the year, this year, and constitutionally he had no right to rule again. During his presidency, there were several figures that he competed with in political arena, like Boyko Borisov, the leader of the GERB party. In short, we can say that Rumen Radev took a risk by resigning before the end of his term and entering the elections. He also had a good election team, good team and staff, but the political conjuncture also was in favor of him, we can say like that.
Was this victory a vote for him or vote against the system? Are Bulgarian voters fed up with the years of political instability?
Actually, both are true. People voted for Radev because they began to see him as a savior. As you know, in parliamentary democracies, the presidency has symbolic importance. He was the head of state, but his power were limited because of the political system in Bulgaria. So in a way, he stood above the failed political parties. Still, this result wouldn't have been possible without the right foundations, right conjuncture. As I said, Bulgaria suffered from the political instability for 5 years. Politically, the country has been in a bad situation because of full of elections. Economically, the picture has not been good either. Many people have been trying to improve their living conditions by migrating to the European Union countries. Also, the corruption scandals in public arena push people to react more strongly. The truth is that Bulgarian society doesn't really trust politicians. In previous elections, voters' turnout didn't even reach to 40%. In other words, we can say that nearly 60% of them didn't even go to the elections. People do not believe the political system that it can solve their problems. In this election, turnout increased slightly. So I would say that the disappointment of Bulgarian society, together with the problems that they had, it produced that result.
The Bulgarian diaspora voted in these elections from 5 neighboring countries: Turkey, Greece, North Macedonia, Serbia, and Romania. To what extent could the new government in Bulgaria reshape regional relations with their neighbors?
Yes, there was voter participation in those countries, but in the countries other than Romania and Greece, in other words, in non-European Union member states, the number of polling stations was limited to maximum of 20. As you know, Turkey was affected from this restriction mostly. The reason is that there's around 500,000 citizens of Bulgaria living in Turkey, Turkish origins. They have migrated from Bulgaria in different periods in history, especially in the last century. In my opinion, this anti-democratic practice should be reconsidered in the new period by politicians, decision makers, in the new cabinet. Bulgaria has the chance to expand its influence in the Balkans. The internal political developments was not available for this in the last 5 years because this political instability prevented it from making broader regional moves. But we can say now that they have bad chance.
Professor, I would like also to ask, as of January 1st, 2026, Bulgaria introduced the euro as its official currency. What impact it's having on the economy, and did it play a significant role in the election result?
Nice question. Absolutely, it did play a role, but this election result was really the outcome of several reasons, factors coming together. As you know well, Bulgaria joined the Eurozone at a relatively late stage. This issue was actively debated before the election, especially in the last quarter of the year. For example, Radev was against it, and also he had proposed to organize a referendum regarding the issue. In December, for example, massive demonstrations were held in Sofia, Plovdiv, Burgas, like Varna, in the major cities in the country. People demanded change, certainly change. And the problem is that Bulgaria moved to Eurozone without being fully prepared. Price regulations were not managed properly, not managed well. For example, before passing to euro, 1 euro was equal to approximately 2 Bulgarian levas, certainly 1.95 levas. It was a stable currency. But in practice, many prices in the country were simply rewritten in euros instead of levas. I observed it directly in the field. This caused inflation in the country, so we can say that that also affected the result of the elections.
2 weeks after Russia lost its most loyal ally in the European Union, Hungary's Victor Orban, can we expect Bulgaria to take on this role with Radev, maybe?
Well, I think Radev is a very strong candidate for that role. By comparing Orban, that occurred an interesting historical coincidence. As it's well known, there has been a geopolitical chess game between European Union and Russia Federation. Especially we can see that rivalry in the Eastern Europe, Central Europe, even in the Balkans. But Bulgaria was being described as Russia's Trojan horse within NATO and European Union even 10 years ago, it was like that, especially after the annexion of Russia of Crimea in 2014. So this is not really a new label for Sofia administration. However, Orban became more visible than Bulgarian decision makers because of Orban's critical discourses after the Ukraine crisis in 2022. But it should be also noted that the social base that supported Radev is broadly pro-Russian population. But more generally, Bulgarian society has long had pro-Russian tendencies because of its historical contribution to the Bulgaria's independence process over 1 century ago. Both nations share Slavic and Orthodox identities. In addition to this, Bulgaria was part of the Eastern Bloc and also was member of Warsaw Pact in the past, in the Cold War period. I say these things because many of today's Bulgarian politicians, others, were communists in the Cold War period. That legacy still has a strong influence over Bulgarian policy and also in the Bulgarian state decision-making mechanism. So Russia is not an ordinary actor that Bulgaria can easily ignore, neither politically nor culturally, also economically. Despite being a NATO member, Bulgaria was unable to take a clear decision on sending military aid to Ukraine. So I think the same mission can continue in the new period that would be ruled by Radev as well. But now, as you know well, Orban is no longer in office, so the pressures on Bulgaria can increase in this period.
Professor Ozlem, should Europe be concerned about the result of this election, and could we see Bulgaria turning away from the European Union?
I think not yet. In my opinion, Radev does not have such a plan for now. His main priority is to ensure the economic stability in the country and to rise the level of the prosperity of people. Actually, he has two options, as far as I observe. Either he will try to expand the Bulgaria's gradual influence while acting in cooperation with European Union, or he will act like a spokesperson for Russia in the West. At that moment, Bulgaria and its economic situation is not suitable for the second options. However, in the second term, we can observe that Radev would begin to develop a critical rhetoric in his foreign policy. But we shouldn't forget that also it should be noted that as long as Bulgaria remains a member of NATO and EU, it is more valuable for Russia.
Thank you so much, Professor Ozlem, for your time and for being guest in Across the Balkans.
Thank you very much.
Hungary has entered a new political era. On April 12th, voters elected as Prime Minister pro-European center-right lawmaker Peter Magyar from the Tisza party. The remarkable victory comes after 16 years under firebrand politician Victor Orban, known for his nationalistic and anti-immigrant stance, and his warm relations with Russia and Serbia. What does this departure mean for the country, and what direction will Magyar take towards the rest of the Balkans and Europe? Adem Amunu explains.
Hungary's astounding electoral upset, which ended Viktor Orban's 16-year hold on power, spurred his opponents into song and dance, including these youngsters who've most likely only ever known one prime minister. Despite his defeat, Orban's supporters still hold him in high regard, with some describing him as one of their country's greatest leaders.
De nem fideszes voltam, mindig mondta a családba is, hogy mondom, nem, én Orbánista vagyok. És az sokaknak ott volt egy fordulópont, azt felfigyeltek erre az emberre, hogy ilyen ember azért ritkán adatik meg a magyaroknak. Lehet szeretni, nem szeretni, de elismerni, hogy egy zseni.
Orban was beaten by this guy, centre-right politician and lawyer Peter Magyar, who leads the Tisza party, securing 2/3 of the vote, winning 138 out of 199 parliamentary seats. An unseating of this kind might give the impression that the 45-year-old leader is a traditional outsider. Rather, he's a ghost in Orban's past, a former ally and an ex-member of Orban's Fidesz party, from which he broke away 2 years ago after expressing deep dissatisfaction with how the party was governing the country. But he's also a political oxymoron, a conservative who has hinted at a stringent migration policy but also wants to crack down on corruption and is moderately pro-European. This prompted Orban to urge his party to re-evaluate its approach.
Még egyszer mondom, teljes megújulásra, és ez nem csak a Fideszre, hanem a teljes nemzeti oldalra értendő. Teljes újjászervezés, újjáalakítás, rengeteg új mozgalom fog születni, legalábbis remélem, rengetegen fognak ebben részt venni. Nekünk ezt a munkát segíteni kell.
EU leaders hailed Magyar's win, given Orban's fraught relationship with the bloc and his strong ties with Russia's President Putin. Orban's government had long obstructed EU consensus on Ukraine's accession bid, suggesting military support for Zelensky against Putin was draining resources. In the Balkans, Hungary has started an uneasy relationship with Belgrade. Serbian President Alexander Vučić was among the first leaders to congratulate Magyar, expressing hope that cooperation between the two countries would continue. But Vučić, who is also a Putin ally, clashed with the incoming Hungarian leader for suggesting that he knew who was orchestrating the political alliance among Orban, Slovakia's Prime Minister Robert Fico, and Vučić. This outburst comes after Vučić said that in early April, the army and police had found 2 backpacks with explosives near a gas pipeline to Hungary. The pipeline, also known as Balkan Stream, is an extension of the Turk Stream pipeline that carries Russian gas to Serbia and Hungary. Magyar claimed the incident was a false flag to disrupt the elections. A new government is expected to be sworn in by mid-May, but while Orban's time in power is over, the real test for Magyar is just starting. He'll have to prove whether he can turn his victory into change at home, while also redefining Hungary's position in the Balkans and the rest of Europe. Adam Aminu across the Balkans.
Take Me to America is a song by Dubioza Collective, a Bosnian avant-garde dub rock band, and it's finding a new life online. More than a decade after its release, the song has recently gone viral on social media, after Bosnia and Herzegovina qualified for the FIFA World Cup, with many users even calling it an unofficial World Cup anthem. But behind the catchy chorus, it has a deeper message, one that pokes fun not just at Balkan stereotypes, but also at the idea of the American dream.
I'm from Bosnia, take me to America.
Take Me to America was never written to be a football song, but its on-point lyrics and infectious brass-heavy rhythm made it a natural fit when the right moment came. The moment was when Bosnia and Herzegovina's national football team had its last chance to qualify for the upcoming World Cup, to be held in the United States and other host countries. Following Bosnia's win against Italy, the track has surged across social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram, appearing in football edits, memes, videos and posts.
I am from Bosnia, take me to America. I am from Bosnia, take me to America. The grass is always greener in neighbor's courtyard. I wish to leave this nightmare, go to the promised land. Please take me to your leader, I want my green card. I want to fly over like a rocket from the Balkans. I want to start all over.
The song plays with identity through biting satire, leaning into self-deprecating humor for which Bosnians and the Balkans are known.
I can no longer wait, take me to United States, take me to Golden Gate, I will assimilate.
But it doesn't stop there. The lyrics also take aim at the idea of escaping to a better life abroad and questioning the promise of the American dream.
I want my green card, I want to fly over like a rocket from the Balkans.
The sad truth is that many people did not flee Bosnia and Herzegovina in search of the American dream, but rather to escape the genocide in Srebrenica. Among them were the parents of footballer Esmir Bayraktarevic, who rebuilt their lives in the United States, where Esmir was born. Years later, the child of immigrants secured his country a place at the World Cup with a decisive goal. While football has always been more than just a game, Bosnia remains deeply divided along ethnic lines. As a result, many Bosnian Croats are supporting the Croatian national football team, and Bosnian Serbs are backing Serbia's national football team instead of cheering for their own country.
Nemojte mi diplomatski, hoćete li navijati Bosnu i Hercegovinu na svjetskom nogometnom prvenstvu?
Ja sam rekao da ja navijam za Srbiju, za Crvenu zvijezdu, Srbije nema i nikad se nisam radovao neuspjesima Bosne i Hercegovine. I bilo mi je drago kad su pobjedili.
A onda negdje logika ako ovdje živite, radite, plaćate porez, a i kažete da vas oduševljava njihova igra, da ih onda podržavate.
Pa dakle, ne možete istovremeno voliti dvije žene, o to vam govorim. Ja se ne radujem neuspjesima
ali ne možete onda biti kandidat za člana predsjedništva države koju ne volite, je li to logika?
Rekao sam da se radim uspjesima Bosne i Hercegovine, ali ne možete od mene tražiti da srčano navijam za Bosnu i Hercegovinu kao što mogu navijati za Srbiju, da se plasirala i druga stvar.
Ako vam je Srbija važnija i bitnija, onda idete u Srbiju i tamo se kandidirate za poziciju predsjednika, a ne ovdje. Jer onda za koga ćete se boriti kao član predsjedništva?
Contrary to locals, Serbs from Serbia and Croats from Croatia celebrated their neighbours' success, watching the game in cafes, cheering for Bosnia and celebrating the victory.
Reci mi, za koga navijaš? Bosnu ili Italiju?
Pa naravno za Bosnu.
Kako to?
To su naša braća i komšije.
The mix of humour and critique is part of what makes the song resonate far beyond the region. For now, it remains a social media sensation. But whether it makes the jump to the stadiums, we will see in a few months when the World Cup begins. Take Me to America has already proven that even an iconic song can unite a crowd far more than any politician has ever managed.
Thank you for watching TRT World and letting us once again take you across the Balkans. That is all from the team for this week. We hope to see you next time.